Thank you very much, Jen. Our community spotlight continues to shine on the Mennonite Central Committee. And one of the many ways you can help the organization has to be the simplest way you can help the organization, which is through the network of thrift shops. We got Ron Janzen, the executive director, rolling up his sleeve and ready to work. Let's draw that line between the work you're doing internationally and the thrift shop down the road. How does that money spent there help?
Yeah. This is a wonderful story. Thrift shops in Manitoba are over 40 years old now. And they are providing about 25% of our fundraising income for a year. Their gross sales are about $6 million a year, and about $3 million of that is coming to support MCC's program. There are 16 shops in Manitoba. They're happy places. They're places where hundreds of people are engaged in volunteerism. They're recycling goods, and they're selling those goods, and the profits are coming to support international relief and development work. So it's an incredible cycle of caring and recycling.
For a lot of people, it's really just an inexpensive way to get those old threads and get something good looking. But they don't realize the extent that it's going to as far as helping out. Let's talk about the volunteers who help out MCC through the thrift shops. How do they contribute?
They contribute significant amounts of labor. I know people who are at the thrift shop 5 days a week. They're basically doing a full-time job. And then there's hundreds of others who are there even 1 day a week or 1 day a month, half a day. It takes thousands of people to make this happen, but they're all very engaged. They find a social outlet. For many of them, they're retired, and this is meaningful work. And it's healthy and active living. It actually is something that gets them out of the house, and it's good for seniors to do. I was at the opening of a thrift shop on Sargent Avenue last summer, and a city councillor was there, Harvey Smiths, and Harvey Smiths was thanking MCC for having purchased this seniors center and turned it into a thrift shop because it was still a community center. As he was talking, I was thinking to myself, it's actually still a seniors center too, because there's so many seniors involved there, and they're engaged in this healthy activity, and they've got a social circle, and they've got meaningful work. And they're supporting MCC. So,
and if they weren't doing what they do free of charge, there would be that much less money going to help. Let's talk about. I buy those old pair of kicks, that lovely plaid sweater, something I could only find in a thrift shop. Where is that money going to go? What do you tell people when they ask that?
That money is going to go to MCC's international program and domestic program. In Manitoba, about 80% of the funds that we raise for all of our programs go end up overseas in international development settings. About 20% of it goes to our work here in Manitoba.
Right.
But in the case of thrift shops, all of that money is going to MCC's program. So they will see their support going to international relief efforts as well as to local peace building projects.
So yeah, there's some local stuff, some big stuff. That $20 in your pocket can not only go a long way, but it can also make a big difference not only here but also abroad. You mentioned the restorative justice programs coming up. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. This one's a particularly touchy subject for a lot of people because we're working with former criminals, but we'll talk about how they find hope and how they find help through MCC. We've got that and more coming up on BT.